you are a poet that is used to writing in one particular kind of a way and you want to try to write more lyrical poetry, you need to let it be known that you're cool with musical settings of your poetry. If you publish a book, put it in the introduction to the book. Many of these poems are lyrical poems, and I would welcome the opportunity to work with composers on both. Just put it right out there. Put it on your Twitter feed. You know, you all now know how to do a Twitter feed. We'll start a hashtag, you know, lyric poets rock or whatever. And it'll get, composers will find you, right? They read poetry because that's what they do. They set poetry all the time. But very often, contemporary poetry is way too crunchy. It's just not settable. So if you're writing stuff, even out there stuff, but you put some lyricism into it, they'll find you. Go to choir concerts. See what's being written. See how choral music works. If the composer's there, introduce yourself to the composer. Or look at the program. Who's alive? Who's alive? Ooh, this one's alive. Do they have a website? Do they have a Twitter feed? Contact that person and say, hey, I love your music. Do you set contemporary poems? I'd love to work with you. I'd love to write for you. Or I have a collection of poetry that I think you might enjoy looking at. Send them a copy of it. Worst that can happen is they read it and it goes on their shelf and they never contact you again. Best thing that can happen is you can make half your living doing it, right? Which is what happened to me. Cold call or email composers based on their websites. Hey, I'm a lyric poet. I'd love to send you some samples of my stuff, or here's a link to my website. I love the idea of collaborating with composers or having my poems set to music. If you let them know you're out there, then they'll consider it. I anticipated a question about lyrics and royalties, or a publication and royalties and contracts and stuff, and how does that all work? If you're interested in that, I'll talk about it, but I'd rather leave time for your questions. If you have any about what I do, or how I do it, or my composer collaborations, how that all works, the publication biz.
Could you talk about writing a libretto for an opera where there are different characters?
Yeah, it's like writing a play, I would assume. You're writing dialogue. That dialogue is going to be sung, and so chanting through the dialogue that you write is very, very useful. And also listening to recitative from operas. Let me go back to... The time has come to say farewell, and though my heart be heavy, I promise still to remember ye. No, we say farewell, bum, bum. And then there's going to be an aria that's going to start, right? So you get used to the lilting cadence of recitative for the dialogue, and then the arias are just lyric poems. But yeah, they're lyric poems from the perspective of the character that's singing them. And they're fun, they're great fun to write. I've written 4 operas. Again, they're operas for children audiences, and so they're kind of like Shrek. You build in jokes for the, slapstick jokes for the kids to laugh at, and then enough adult humor that the teachers in the back will chuckle, but the kids won't get it. That's always a clever Rubik's Cube kind of thing too. I'd like to write thanks for coming. I'd like to write a main stage opera, a serious adult opera. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Do you have a story in mind?
Trump would make a fantastic opera. An amazing tragic opera. Other questions? Yes, sir.
So, after, okay, I'm not sure how to ask this, but when you have the words in a book of poetry, and there's music to it, do you in the book mention that it's been set to music, or how are they cross-referenced, or do you do that kind of?
Is this on? I don't think it's on.
No, it's
No,
not.
maybe it's not. There, if you press and hold that power button until it turns green. Oh,
I did.
Oh.
Maybe this one has to be on. Is that right? Yeah, whatever.
yeah, that one was being weird.